As a confirmed hater of getting up early, I am going to share with you why all that has changed as I got up one dawn to photograph the Bishop's Palace in Lamprey. I have always been a night owl and fond of my bed when it's warm and it's cold outside. But all of that changed one day when I went out to photograph the Lamprey's Bishop's Palace. As I arrived at the location before dawn, the birds singing gave me a sense of intense peace and belonging, and it was a wonderful experience when nobody else was around. The birds twittering away took me away from the hustle and bustle of daily life, and I could concentrate on looking at the light. Dawn shoots or sunrise shoots aren't necessarily about photographing the sun. The light in the golden hour is a beautiful thing, and when you have textures like the old ruins at Lamprey, it can give a dramatic impetus to how you see things, what you see, and the textures and age of the stones and buildings. As I was alone at this place at this time, it gave me a time to concentrate on the mood and feeling of what I was going to create and how I observed and felt about the images that I was taking. I'm not just an observer and snapper. I like to build a story. I like to see something which evolves around what I feel, and the light, and composition give me an opportunity to inject my mood, my observations and my feelings into what I'm photographing. I'm sure we all feel that sometimes we go out and we don't give due care and attention. We've always used our camera, we know how it works. It's very easy just to look and say, how pretty, snap and finish. But here it was something different. The history, the place, it drew me in. It brought to mind a Japanese saying, Ichigo Ichi. One time, one meeting. Everything that we do, even if we repeat it on a daily basis, it is always unique that time that we are there. It is never repeated exactly. And so when we take our photographs, we must look for the feeling of one time, one meeting, Ichigo Ichi. The other thing on that fateful morning was a sense of history. Somehow the stones were talking to me from 700 years before. They were drawing me in to their history and what happened many times before. I felt a sense of belonging. All I had to do was wait for the light. When we make compositions of images, we arrange things in a design within the frame. But light is a part of that design, and it is even more important because it gives us a sense of mood, a sense of feeling, a sense of wonder sometimes of how things light up. It draws our attention, and the shadows nurture the light, protect it, and show you parts of the object whilst hiding or sending backwards other parts. So this has always been a theme in my photography, the shadows and the lights. I guess my name, the Shadow Master, is one to be proud of and one that I love. Here at the Bishop's Palace, I observed the dawn as the light appeared, and as the tops of the buildings became lit up with the early morning sunrise. We're not shooting the sun, we're shooting the effects of the sun. We're looking at the textures and shapes of the building and how the light, and then sometimes the shadows, add an element. The shadows as if showing something which was there before, something that almost a part of the building which we've forgotten. Arrangement in a photograph is a design, but light and shadows together bring an image together. It gives us something to look at and something to explore further when we have looked at the obvious. It was a cold morning, the birds twittering away, and I felt a deep peace within me while I was looking for compositions. And I looked at light on the building, and I looked at shapes of the buildings, and I took a number of images. And then, as I was taught many years ago by a very wise old photographer, who now unfortunately has died, that what you should do when you have looked at the obvious, turn around, look behind you, look for something new. Well, turning around for me meant shooting directly into the light. This isn't something we should be afraid of, but the problem with shooting into the light, especially at dawn, especially at sunrise, is that the contrast is so great. So how do we get around this? Well, what we do is we hide the sun behind a part of the subject, and that helps with the overall contrast and with bringing the reflection down. It brings the contrast down. It brings the dynamic range within a range that the camera can cope with. And yes, we have to edit a little bit to make that even more even and more acceptable to our eyes. If I can bring anything from this experience and pass it on to you, it's to look at the shapes, look at the contrasts, look at the image, look at the shapes of the arches and the holes, look at the stone, and look at how the light enhances it and how the shadows also enhance it. Don't ignore the shadows. The shadows are what give glory to light. For if every day was a sunny day with no clouds in the sky, we'd soon get bored. What we need variety, and the shadows give us that variety. It also gives us a method of looking into a picture. The immediate glory of the lit up part of the subject, and then what we do is we look further. What is that in the shadows? Is that something hiding? Is this something that we've missed? It gives us a sense of completeness. It gives us a sense of understanding. And altogether, it gives us a whole image. Well, I hope that you enjoy these images, and I hope you enjoy the film of the Bishop's Palace at Lamprey. It was an eye-opener for me. And I must say that in every occasion, however much I didn't want to get up in the morning, and however much I wanted to stay in my nice warm bed, when I have done it, when I've got up and gone out, whether it's been cold or sunny, or whether I've had great images or not, I have never ever regretted it or been disappointed. Here, as we turned into the light, and we see the stark buildings, the filigree of the trees, and a beautiful, beautiful dawn sky. Shooting into the light can be very rewarding, but we have to take care. We have to look at our image and where the high spots are, and we have to control our exposure well. So my friends, don't be afraid. Turn your camera into the light and create those glorious, glorious pictures. So what I say to you, my friends, as usual, is whether you are a beginner or a seasoned professional, go, explore the light, explore the moods, explore the feelings, listen to the birds, listen to the stillness around you, enjoy what you're doing, and like always, I would love to hear of your adventures. So please put in the comments below whether you've been out in an early morning and it's changed your view, or even if you decide your bed is a much warmer place. Share in the comments below and let me know where and when you had your epiphany. Thank you so very much for watching, and I hope you'll all share, like and subscribe. This is the Shadow Master signing out.